Hey everybody, and welcome to the third Retro Gaming Revival live stream, Facebook's #1 retro gaming page. This week we'll, as always, be talking all things retro games. So get any questions in the chat, and the panel will be happy to answer them. Okay, so who have we got with us this week? We've got Nintendo Ollie.
Howdy, howdy.
Blunners or Ollie.
All right.
OEB Dawbs.
Greetings.
Nil less than 1%. And our special guest this week, and we're really happy to have him here, is James Jarvis from ItsMuchMore YouTube channel.
How you doing? You all right?
Yeah, good, thanks. We'll get to James a bit more in a bit and chat to him about his YouTube channel, and I'm sure we'll have plenty of Dreamcast questions for him after his post today and watching his YouTube videos. But before we get on to that, has everyone had a good couple of weeks?
Yeah, it's been not too bad. Not too bad. I've had a bit of a slump recently where I've not played a great deal of games, and now I've started building that back in again. So yeah, happy to be gaming again.
Yeah, my last 2 weeks haven't been too bad, apart from the game that I was tasked with playing, but we will get to that shortly. You know, you're going to be giving us fun things to do during lockdown, and that's just made it.
I thought it would be fun. I thought it'd be more fun to hear you talk about it.
We will get to that. Okay, so what have we got here? Got some comments already. Okay. Well, that's a bit much. We've only just started, but there we go. Okay, so
yeah, but Ryan, it's still the official one, so that's good.
Yeah, it's very kind. Right. Anyway, let's move on. So, James, welcome.
Yes, sir.
And
hello.
Do you want to just give our viewers a bit about your YouTube channel and what videos you upload and a bit about your game collection?
Sure. Yeah. Hello. I'm James from ItsMuchMore. Don't worry about the hair. For some bizarre reason, my hair and the headset didn't go well together. But yeah, my channel, basically, I just play Dreamcast, as you can see there in the background. I've got Daytona USA 2001 being played on a Dreamcast, and there's all my pickups that I've done on my channel recently. I do a lot of Dreamcast games, and I've done some EVERCADE games as well. I mean, I've got an EVERCADE official fan on there already, which is good, even though they say this is boring. So let's talk about the Dreamcast. That's why I want to be here. But yeah, it's just I just do some pickups, the usual things that everyone does really. Plays through, pickups, live unboxing, stuff like that. Just getting the gaming community involved, and I like retro gaming. I've got a lot of history for it because it started back on the Amstrad for me. So yeah, I've got quite a lot of knowledge of gaming, mostly the Dreamcast. But yeah, I'm just happy to be invited and happy not to be hosting one, just chilling now and talking.
Yeah, thanks, James. It's really good to have you on. I can't say I'm an expert on Dreamcast myself. I never owned one. My main memory of Dreamcast was the Royal Rumble game. I think you could have 9 wrestlers in the ring at once.
You can, yes.
One of my favourite consoles. That was absolutely amazing. I remember when Shenmue came out, and like first time you see like the fish and that coming, unbelievable. Jet Set Radio, another one of my favourites. I even played Shenmue 2 all the way through in Japanese with English subtitles, because they never bothered doing it in the end, but in English, not until they did on the to the Xbox. But yeah, absolutely loved it. NBA 2K, I think that was the first time me and my mates used to play that. Oh yeah,
Awesome.
I've still got my Dreamcast, but it's one of my favourite consoles.
Great stuff. Yeah, I mean, talking about Dreamcast, me and my brother just got myself a GMU. So we're going to look at trying to see how we can get doing that modification. We've never done any modifications. This is my original one from the kiosk.
I got one as well for my birthday.
Oh, cool. Yeah, because I'm going to look at doing that for the first time. And we've got a soldering machine and everything, so it could go wrong. I've got 4 of them, so you know, if one breaks, I'll just sell it on eBay as untested.
Untested.
It's one of those consoles where I didn't get into it when it first came out, because I just remember thinking it was quite expensive for when it came out. But one of my mates had it, and it was just, oh my god, it was just incredible, like being able to play it at his house and just seeing the graphics and seeing it, that it really publicized quite heavily that it was, you know, you could go on the internet with it. And I just remember that being just this mind-blowing thing, like, we can go on the internet on a console. I don't understand how this is going to work, but it was so ahead of its time. And that, to some degree, I think that might have even been its downfall. It was so forward thinking in terms of what a console could do, that I think people kind of didn't want to necessarily pay out that original price tag for it. So I didn't pick one up until much later, probably a good 3 or 4 years after they discontinued it, actually. And it was just in a local game shop for like 30 quid, boxed with Sonic Adventure, which is still, I think, the best 3D Sonic game. But the system itself is it's incredible. Even now, the fact we're chatting about it now, and you know, yourself has obviously got quite a lot of knowledge on the system, but I still think it's one of the best consoles. It's just so good, and I wish I put a bit more effort into collecting for it than I currently do. But yeah, absolutely love the system.
I remember when it was the first game I went online with, and it was like dial-up at the time, and it would take forever. And it was like, that was went with my mates, and we were just like mind blown that we were playing with all these Japanese people that were absolutely destroying us on Phantasy Star Online. But it was amazing. And I used to have the fishing rod, which my mate, when we were doing the old bass fishing, he'd actually snapped off. I was devastated. House of the Dead with the gun on House of the Dead was really good.
Yeah,
it was such a good console. Just a shame it didn't do as good as it should have, really.
No,
but it was brilliant. MS, I think, was it MSR, Metropolis Street Racing on there? That's a phenomenal
which is the
driving game as well.
Yeah, so like Project Gotham was the sequel to that on Xboxes and stuff. But yeah, MSR, awesome game. One of the, I think your group's favorite, one of your favorite from your group. You guys like MSR?
Here it is.
Yeah, that game there.
He's got it there.
Awesome
I've got two games for the Dreamcast. One of them is MSR, and the other one is Tomb Raider. I'm right at the beginning of collecting for the Dreamcast. Never really had one as a kid. I was always Mega Drive and Super Nintendo, and then I went straight from the Super Nintendo straight to PS1. So I really missed. I missed the Saturn and I missed the Dreamcast, but only one now. And yeah, just right at the beginning of collecting for it. So yeah, hopefully get some more games soon.
So how much do they go for on like eBay or?
Well, sort of personally, I mean, there's a lot of games you can pick up cheap, and there's a lot of games you can pick up cheap to get replacement power cases for. So like, if you're going to go for replacement power cases, get Choo Choo Rocket, because everyone's got that. And I mean, a little bit of tip that I tend to do is I just tend to buy bundles of games, even if I've got them already, and just take the best bits of cases out from each of them, because they're quite difficult. But games are I mean, games are starting to go up in price now. But you know, the first batch of games, or the easy games, are like Crazy Taxis, the Virtual Tennises. You know, those ones, everyone's got them, so they're pretty cheap to get. So around about £5. I mean, they can start at £5 to get those.
What about
they're
the
all good
console?
games.
How much does that go for?
The console, probably about 30 quid still. I mean, I sold one the other day, a couple of weeks ago, and it's like 30 odd quid. So yeah, they're not that expensive, because people are kind of getting rid of them now, because emulation has caught up now. You know, so you can have Sega Saturn emulators on your PC, and you know, the Dreamcast and the Xbox Original. The Xbox Original does it all now. So you know, the original consoles, nobody wants them, just in case they keep restarting or have errors. But yeah, 30 quid about the going price on eBay now.
Do you think the Dreamcast failed solely because it didn't have a DVD player?
Yeah, that and EA. They didn't have EA with them on their side, and they just rushed the launch because the PS2 was on its way. So kind of like the Saturn, you know, they jumped the launch out. So the Dreamcast had everything. You know, it was an arcade in your house. It had online gaming. It had everything, better than the PS2 in a way, but just didn't play DVDs. So and people bought the PS2s just for a DVD player. So
yeah,
I did.
Yeah, is the PS2 I know we'll come straight back to Dreamcast, but just because someone's mentioned the PS2 bit there, is the PS2 still the biggest selling games console? Because I know for a long time it was.
The Wii's up there, I think.
Did the Wii overtake it? Because I'm pretty sure up until possibly even the very beginning of the PS4's lifetime, they were still making PS2s brand new. I'm sure that's true, but
I think they were saying the thing is like your nan, your grandma. Do you know what I mean? Your grandparents still would play Wii, so I think that was what made them sell so many. But I'm not 100% sure on that. But I think it's them two are the top two.
Yeah, because that's it was a weird choice. I think when you see the PS2 played DVDs, but the Dreamcast just didn't. I mean, I guess nowadays I guess people don't. Do people care whether consoles play media discs now? I know I certainly don't, but
No.
Incredibly, I've just looked it up. PS2 is number one.
Is it?
Nintendo DS number 2, then Game Boy Color number 3, PlayStation 4 number 4, PlayStation 5. I'm sorry, PlayStation at number 5, and then Nintendo Wii at number 6.
All right.
Wow.
Which
The thing is,
really
the DS
surprises me.
But the thing is with the DS, because I managed to get an American one because my brother was out there, and that must count all the reiterations of it because they've changed it so much. Didn't they? They changed it up to like the DS XL.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if you're adding in all them, you're going to be quite high.
Yeah.
So.
But now to bring it all the way back to Dreamcast again, one of my favourite features on that console, and I remember seeing it for the first time, was the memory card.
Yeah.
I know the PS everything was memory cards back then, wasn't it? You had to have your memory card with all your saves on it. But seeing that Dreamcast memory card with the little screen on it, and the fact that it could come out, and with Sonic Adventure you get the eggs, put the eggs into the incubators, and then almost like a Tamagotchi style type thing, use the D-pad and aim. Oh my god, so ahead of its time still.
It had
Even
a Rumble
now.
pack, didn't it? I think the second was a second port for the Rumble pack, wasn't it?
There it is. There it is. That beautiful memory card.
Batteries are gone on mine.
It's like,
there we go.
it's awesome.
Hang
I
on.
mean,
Now.
There you go.
there it is.
I mean,
So
the good
good.
thing about that, you could play independently, couldn't you, as well, for little games?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was the
Yeah.
way of hatching the
I mean-
eggs in Sonic to
Yeah, Sonic on it. Yeah.
so
Sonic
cool.
There's one of these left in an arcade somewhere in the world because I had my F355 saved game data on it, and you was allowed to take your saved car, to the actual arcade machine. So you can plug this in like a memory card to the arcade machine, and then I think I left it in there. Then they blocked up the slot. So there's a memory card somewhere which has got my saved car on it in the world.
So cool.
That's incredible.
Very cool.
Do you know, I did not know that.
Frozen.
You know you could do that.
Unbelievable.
No.
Every day is a school day.
James, did you play, or have you played, is it Siemens? Seaman?
Yeah,
Seaman.
I've played Seaman. Yeah, David Seaman. Yeah,
I'm so good that was brought up, because that is possibly the weirdest game of all time. It is up there in terms of just everything's quirky.
It's quite cool because you have to have like the microphone connected to even play it. So you got Leonard Nimoy doing the narration, which is really cool, and you've just got a fish tank, and it's like, so what do I do? You know, I move the boulder along, turn the heat up in the fish tank, and then throw in the egg, and then that's day one, and you've got to wait till tomorrow to go back on it, and then see if anything's happened, and then nothing's happened. So then you put the heat up a bit, throw some food in there, and then wait again, and then move the blocks again. And then, then Leonard Nimoy says it's getting dirty, so then you got to clean the tank. It's like flipping hell. I mean, I've got to wait 4 days before I can clean the tank again, you know. But when it did hatch, and it was all kind of weird. 'Cause you get to talk to him, you get to tap on the glass. You know, he's kind of gets a bit angry because you can slap him about, and then it was an odd game. It didn't come out over here in the UK, but it did come out in America, thankfully, so we can have a translation of it. But a fun game, and I got it in a bundle when I picked up this amazing bundle from somebody that obviously didn't know what they were doing. So I had a boxed American broadband adapter, which is way like £200 plus. I had that game boxed. I had the Sonic Adventure Japanese box. All these big box games are console, keyboards, controllers. I only paid £160 for the whole lot.
Wow.
Oh,
So I mean, the broadband adapter on its own is 160 quid. So yeah, somebody just don't know what they're doing, and whenever you see it on eBay and someone's made an offer or stuff like that, just go. I always go in and just go, look, here's an offer. If they don't know what they're doing or their nan's listed it for them, they might accept it.
That's incredible. I just, again, I think we mentioned it in the last stream when I gave Ryan his game to play for this week. AVGN's episode of the Seaman game is just, it's hilarious, and it genuinely made me think, I was like, this isn't real. This isn't a real game, and it is. Oh God, I would love to play that game. I think it'd be hilarious.
It's pretty cool.
That episode of AVGN, if you've not seen it, it's definitely worth watching. It's one of his funniest episodes.
Yeah,
definitely.
It's a good one.
Okay, we've got a couple of questions for you here, James, actually.
Cool.
Got Games
Rip. Yeah.
When is the Q3 grudge match happening? Hopefully this means something to you. It doesn't mean anything to me. PC versus DC. Also, what's your best game in your Dreamcast collection so far?
Cool. So that's Al from Games Rip. He's got an amazing channel. He does a lot of Dreamcast stuff, and we're going to go, because Quake 3 Arena and 4x4 Evolution on the Dreamcast are cross-play. So kind of like what the kids nowadays play Minecraft on Switch and PS4 and stuff like that. You can play these games cross-play. So Mac users, Dreamcast and PC users can go head-to-head on all their consoles against each other. So he's challenged me to a game of Quake 3 Arena. So I'm going to use a controller, not a keyboard and mouse, against him on his PC. So probably high-end PC with no lag or no frame rate issues that I'm going to struggle with. I mean, I'll still wipe the floor with him. So, that's... No, we'll arrange it for a Friday, because every Friday they have a Fragging Friday. The Dreamcast players meet up on Friday nights to play some Quake 3 Arena. So we'll do it then, and so other people can spectate and watch the fact that I'm going to not get fragged at all against him.
Dude. Yeah, that'd be really cool.
And,
Definitely pop up in the group when that's going to happen, because I'd be well interested.
100%. We'll get involved with that.
Awesome. Yeah. And my favourite in the collection, gosh, I don't know, Daytona's good. House of the Dead 2, got to be my favourite in the collection.
Good choice.
Because it's an amazing game, and playing it on the kiosk that I've got as well, because he's standing up as if it's an arcade machine, and just attach 2 guns to it, and you're just playing it as if you're in the arcades.
Yeah, it's good. I love that game.
Awesome stuff. And we've got another question here for you. I reckon this might be your girlfriend, James. Sexy Sophie. Hi, babe. What extra feature would you have liked on the Dreamcast? Only one.
What extra feature on the Dreamcast? Maybe a dashboard, like Xbox Original. So, and just a way for the community to start talking to each other online, because there isn't one. So you just put the game in and wait around online. So if there was like the PlayStation 3 had, like the home, like PlayStation Home and stuff like that, if there was an online lobby you can just go into first before playing an online game, that would be a feature I would add.
That's
Cool.
a good feature.
Mm-hmm. And just one further question here. Which Dreamcast games would be good to port onto a handheld?
Is that for me or for the group? I mean, is that for everyone?
Well, I guess it's aimed at you, but if you answer it first, and then everyone else can give it an answer.
I mean, a lot of the games, like mobile games, are pretty decent conversions anyway, like the Crazy Taxi and Virtual Tennis. I mean, I've got an N-Gage behind me. I know not many people like it, but playing Virtual Tennis on that and Super Monkey Ball, that was awesome. But a Dreamcast game, I think, on a handheld, any handheld, doesn't have to be a modern one. What can I think of? I can't think of any. Oh gosh, Virtual Fighter, that'd be good, or Soul Calibur on a handheld.
Soul Calibur, that would
Seaman for me on a handheld.
Talking into your phone and tapping it.
Nintendo DS could have done that, couldn't they?
Dynamite
the little tap feature. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, Dynamite Cop, amazing game.
Yeah, that's one for me.
That Olympic
I
game
think
that you played, James, is quite cool. like Sega Olympics
Virtua
or
Athlete?
something? Yes, that's very cool. I like that game. I like the look of that game.
The Saturn had all the awesome ones as well, didn't they? The Athlete Kings and Winter Heat for the Sega Saturn guys out there. But yeah, awesome.
Right, a couple more questions. Well, one more question. Sexy Sophie again. Where did you get your Dreamcast top from?
This is from the Sega shop. It's a large, but I've lost £5 lately, so this is falling off me. But yeah, so it's from the Sega shop UK. I don't know if they still got their Dreamcast range, but they've got a Mega Drive range on there now, which looks pretty awesome. So yeah, that's where I got it from. But there is different versions. This is like the I think the American like style baseball-y ones. I don't know. They like their shirts like this.
Raglan top,
yeah,
are they called?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, it got given to me as a birthday present. I was like, yeah, I got to wear it. I got a Dreamcast hoodie in there as well, so I can't wear that because for some bizarre reason, when I put it on with my top, it had all little bits of a bobble on it. You know, when you put clothes on and there's all white bits of bobble. So yeah, I totally ruined the top I had underneath.
Get a razor. Get a razor on that. Bit of a tip there.
A razor? Well, just a Bic.
Yeah, like a normal. Yeah, and it takes all the bobbles off.
Oh wow, that's a nice one because that was a good T-shirt I just ruined. So yeah, I'll check that out. I've got to be wearing a T-shirt though, yeah. I've got to be wearing it just so it cut through me.
More fashion tips next week.
That's it. See, we've got fashion tips. We've got everything on this channel. It's fantastic, isn't it?
And
James must be the only person in the UK who's lost weight during lockdown as well. So, I think everyone else has struggled. So fair play to you. There are some more questions, but we will get to them a bit later. I'm just going to move us on to the panel choice game reviews. I know, James, you weren't involved in this, but you would have seen the games that we were all given, some of which you possibly would have played in the past. I'm going to keep this very short and sweet. Nintendo Ollie. The game you gave me, Bart versus Radioactive Man, was possibly one of the worst games I've ever played. Massively unforgiving. I couldn't even get past the first level. You killed something, jumped on a platform, and the thing you just killed respawned and killed you. There were mice or rats on the floor that your weapon couldn't even reach because it was too low down. All in all, an absolutely dreadful game, and I wouldn't recommend anyone play it. And it deserves to be buried in a desert somewhere in America and never in the light of day again. And it was so bad, I might even plug the memory card of my RG351 into my computer and just delete it off there because I'd never ever want to see that awful game ever again. Anyway, amazing. Moving on, Nintendo Ollie.
Yeah. So Ollie gave me Super Mario: The Lost Levels to play, which is infinitely way better than Bart Meets Radioactive Man. I had to dig out my Wii U and fire up Mario All Stars from the Wii to play it because I didn't have it on the RG. I played it a little bit as a kid. I remember getting Mario All Stars, but I remember playing it and thinking, "Oh, this is amazing! Oh no, it's too hard," and then just moving straight on and probably not playing it much ever since then. But I really persevered with it this time to just really sort of absorb myself in it, and it's basically Super Mario Brothers, but bloody hard, and as if it needed to be much harder. Some of the platforming on it is pretty precise. It might be, and again, if anybody else knows if this is true or not, is it the first time that the sort of mushroom appeared, like you said in that first level, you hit the mushroom and it's like the death mushroom? I know that they've used that in other Mario games since, but I thought, oh, is that the first time that was used? Because that's sneaky.
Yeah, basically, the Japanese said it would be too hard for us Westerners, and they are right. It is so hard.
It is difficult.
That's why they reskinned the Doki Doki Panic and brought that out as Mario Bros 2 instead.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought as it was Mario Day, I thought I'd better give you a tough Mario game.
Yeah, it was really good. It was really enjoyable. It's punishing because as soon as you die or you do something stupid, it's because you did something stupid. It wasn't because there's a bit of the game which hasn't quite fitted properly, or it was very unforgiving but very fair. But really, enjoyable. I really did enjoy my time with that.
Cheers, Nintendo Lee. Neil. Just before you start, Neil, I'm disappointed you weren't given, or I didn't give you Pop Stars on Game Boy Advance.
Yeah, you gave me Kid Dracula. There it is. For the 3 levels that I actually played, I actually quite enjoyed it. Saying I only played 3 levels isn't to say that that's all I played. That's all I could play. Could not get past the level 3 boss. The levels themselves, yeah, pretty quick to get through. But I think the bosses, in comparison to the actual levels, were too difficult and quite annoying, really. It's not that they were just difficult; they were difficult 3 times over, because I found that once you got to the boss and beat the boss, I was like, yes, and then all of a sudden the boss would come back, and I'd be like, no, and then after beat the second one, I'd be like, yes. And then it'll come back a 3rd time, like, no, God, no. And if it wasn't for the save states on this thing, I probably wouldn't have got past level 1. But yeah, saying that, I mean, for an 8-bit game on the Game Boy, I thought the graphics and the animation were pretty good. I mean, if it was colour, you could easily be forgiven for thinking it was a 16-bit game. That's how nice the game looks. But yeah, the bosses were way too hard. And yeah, like I say, if it wasn't for the save states, I would not have got past level 1. But yeah, not a bad game actually.
Well, I'm glad you enjoyed it. Blunners, I'm going to save you till the end, because you had the pick of the lot. So right, yeah. Dawbs.
Yes, I had Dick Tracy on the Mega Drive. I'm not going to lie, I didn't play very much of it. Probably played it for a couple of hours. Yeah, it's pretty tough. Basically, just a scrolling game. One button you can shoot a pistol, the other button you can shoot a Tommy gun, but it goes in the background, and enemies spawn in the background and spawn in front of you. And that's really it. It's just, yeah. You know, I'm sure at the time it was amazing, but playing it now was just so hard. I got to level 3 and I just can't get past it, because half a dozen people come up the top, so you've got to use your Tommy gun, but you can only control it using the D-pad, and it's just, yeah, terrible. I'll give it probably 1 out of 5, and that's being generous.
Well, it's a better endorsement than mine. I would give it 0 out of 5, that part of the game. Right, we'll get to you in a minute, James, and find out if you've played any of these games. But we'll just go. I'm sure you would have played Blunner's game, because I'm sure this is a big game in the Western world. Okay, so Blunner's, what game were you given?
So I was given Eric Tsuyu no Yami. What was it? But, basically, it's all in. It's only on.
What was it?
I'm not going to say that again. It's on the Famicom, but it's
awesome.
The thing is, I actually tried playing it off my phone with Google Translate, because it's like a full on. It is a full on. Like, I can't really see it. It's like an RPG. It's like basically like a story driven 2-player RPG. So you need both players to play. Walking around, but I couldn't make out what anyone was saying or what I could actually do. But the music on it is really good. And I think it was one of the first games to use all 8 bits or something they were saying in one of the reviews I tried. But it just, where there was no English at all, I couldn't actually get on or do anything. I didn't know what I was doing. So if it was actually in English translated, it could have been all right. But it's still like a 0 for me, because I couldn't actually know what was going on. It's so hard.
James, have you played any of the games we've been playing?
I think I played the Bart game that you played.
Yes.
Was it not
Bart versus Radioactive Man?
Yeah, I think I played that, and I went back to play some other Simpsons games like Bart versus the Space Mutants and stuff like that, just for some bizarre reason. But yeah, out of all those, I've only played that one. But yeah, pretty cool. And I do like the FIFA in the background as well. Is it on the Dawbs? Is it FIFA International Soccer or just FIFA 95?
No, it's the original, very first one.
Yeah, the original. Yeah, it looks awesome.
93, I think it's 93.
Is that the one you could run
cool
away
one,
from
that
the ref? You could run away from the referee when he was trying to card you.
I believe so.
I think
Sure,
you
there
could.
was
I
one.
think that and 95. I think you could run away from the ref.
Is that
Amazing.
the first time where you could do the crowd cheer as well, like pressing A, B, and C, did
A,
different
B.
like fireworks
Oh, yeah,
cheer?
when you scored.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I had FIFA. I remember getting FIFA 95 for Christmas in 94. I guess it would have been because it would have been out in 94. And it was only on Sega Mega Drive. I think FIFA 95. I think they had the license to it, and that was an awesome game. And going in school like a boss after Christmas. Oh, I've got FIFA 95. All of a sudden, everyone's your best mate.
It's just always good to score a goal from the bottom and then just curl it round, like from the very bottom view, and then just curl it to the top corner. It's just awesome. And then when it hit the goal, then you just press A, hold A down so they can't press anything, and it does the celebration with that guy screaming goal for ages. It's just amazing.
I don't
Isometric
think
FIFA.
in FIFA International in 95, I don't think I ever scored a goal in the penalty area or a penalty.
No.
I don't think
Just a back
the
heel.
keeper just saved everything. It had to always be 30, 40 yard screamers was the only way of scoring.
The keeper always did a dramatic save, didn't he?
I'm sure there was a player called Johnny Joyce who was amazing because they used to made up names. I'm sure it
Brian
was Johnny
Plank
Joyce.
was amazing for Germany.
Yeah.
He was like 19. And Matt Webster for England, or M. Webster. And in the Ireland team, there's a player called R. Andrews, which I used to always want to be Ireland because it was obviously my name, which was quite cool. I'm just going to go back to the comments quickly. We've got a few more. Okay. HBOMB337. I think that's your mate, Nintendo Ollie.
Come on.
As of this week. Dreamcast games are now very playable on the RG351P with ArcOS. Handheld Dreamcast is great. I think all of us. I don't know, James, if you've got an RG351P.
No, I mean the only handheld I've got, I had apart from the favourite one I've had is a Game Park 32. So I've never got any of the more recent handhelds. But I don't know what the emulation's like nowadays for the Dreamcast. I guess it's solid because it's got to be now because
it's getting better. It used to be borderlining unplayable. Sometimes just about playable, but yeah, it seems to be pretty good so far at the moment. I've been quite impressed with it.
It's been a recent update.
Yeah, I must, because I've not got a decent PC or anything, so the emulation I've got, I can't even run a PS2 on mine. So the emulation I can only do is SNES, Mega Drive, and when I tried to put a Sega Saturn emulator in, I think the laptop just turned itself off and laughed. So
Saturn is really hard to emulate, I think, apparently.
Quite a few of them
Yeah,
are, aren't they? Like Nintendo 64 is meant to be notoriously difficult to emulate as well.
well, yeah, I mean that's I mean they're pretty cheap. I've got one of those carts, not the EVERCADE, I don't know what it's called, but my brother got it from Japan, this red cart. So even though we've got the games originally, it's just easier just to press a button there. You can play WrestleMania 2000, stuff like that without worrying.
James, you're very popular tonight. Really enjoying the live chat. Thank you for the special appearance. Nice touch. And that's for Redjar Riser.
Cool.
We're enjoying James being on the show. It's good to have a guest on here and such an expert in Dreamcast as well. I hope you're all really enjoying this. Another from Redjar Riser saying you need to come back. And from Games. Yeah, we'll all go on mute and you can just sit there. From Games Ari Up, bring it on. I guess that's in regard to your Quake game. And he's asked, what map are you going to be playing?
I'm not quaking in my boots. Any map. I close my eyes. I have one hand on my back. It'll be fine. Any map you choose.
And Neil, you've got a fan here, Redjar Riser. Neil, less than 1% legend. So
hang on, you've gone out the room to type that, haven't you?
Yeah, that's very
No, I'm using my phone for this, so I can't.
Hey, love. I'm a legend.
Cool. I'm hoping, Dawbs, you have got something ready for the next feature. Tell me if you haven't, and then we'll skip over it.
No, I have.
Okay,
What's in
so
the box?
what's in OEB Dawbs Box?
Well, I have got a little something. Let me just get
So-
a box. Oh,
Us as a panel, for those who have not watched this before, we have 20 questions, and we have to try and guess the retro game or console that is in OEB Dawbs Box. What was it a couple of weeks ago? Remind us of what it was.
It was an Amstrad.
Wow, Amstrad in that box.
Yeah.
Big fan of Amstrad.
Right. So who wants to ask the first question? James, as you're the guest, you can go first.
Okay. Are they yes/no questions, or is it just?
They are yes, no, yeah.
Well, hang on, that's one question. Yep. Okay. Yep, yeah.
Okay, move on. Is it before the 90s?
No.
Ooh.
Is
Is it? Oh, go on. What do you first, mate?
Is it a handheld?
No.
Is it from the 90s?
Yes.
Go on, Neil.
Is it cartridge-based console?
No.
Is it a game?
Yes.
Go on, James.
Is it a popular top-down racer?
No.
Okay.
Is
Is
it? Oh, go on.
Is it a fighting game?
Is it a what? Sorry.
A fighting game.
No.
Is it a cartridge?
No.
Go on, Ollie Blunners.
Hang on. Is it for the Sony PlayStation 1?
Is it? You say is it PlayStation 1?
Is it for the PlayStation 1? Is it a game for the PlayStation 1?
Not the one I have.
Okay.
So no.
Is it Sensible Soccer?
Don't put no. No.
How many is that?
That's 10.
Oh.
So
Oh,
halfway
come
through.
on.
Is it a sequel?
No.
I'm trying to think of third-party games.
Is
That were...
it RPG?
No.
Is it a sports game?
Yes.
Is it a wrestling game?
No.
Oh. Is it football?
Yes.
Is it an Amiga game?
Yes. You got 4 left.
Oh, come on, we've
Four
narrowed
left.
it down now.
An Amiga football
Is
Is
game?
it kickoff?
That's a good pick, but no.
Striker.
No.
Oh,
We've got
two
two
more.
Oh, come on.
Is
You've got
it
2
sensible
left.
soccer?
We've guessed that, Neil.
Oh,
We've tried to see. Sorry.
Is it a management football game?
No.
Oh.
One more
I can
left.
only think of one more Amiga football game, but I don't think it's going to be that. So I'll have a punt.
Yeah, you're the only
Oh,
one.
no,
go
it
for
could be one of two. It could be one of two.
50-50 then.
Is it Manchester United in Europe?
Oh, that's a good guess, but no, it's incorrect.
Is it goal?
Oh,
Right. No, it's
Is
not.
it goal? James just
No, that's for 20.
No, just a cheeky one in there.
that would have been my other guess, James. Goal.
Now, so obviously I win again. You've actually said it earlier, and I thought, you know what? I'll try and be a bit sneaky and have it playing in the background.
Oh no!
Oh,
So,
you thought that as well.
we have FIFA International Soccer.
I was going to say FIFA, but I didn't think it was released on the Amiga.
I didn't either.
Look at that box.
Oh, that is a mint.
So this
Nice.
is in pretty
That is mint
good
condition.
nick. I'm just going to open it.
I did not
Do
know.
you know, I don't
bought this
play
probably when I
football
was
games
15 or
at all,
16.
but even I'm excited about the box.
So we have
Wow.
instructions. We have epilepsy warning. And we have the discs.
Beautiful.
3
Oh, floppy
And
discs.
also, as another little bonus, obviously when I had a bike when I was a teenager, I put this in the box for some reason. It's got my old personal details on. So for some reason I put it in the box.
Amazing.
So,
Well,
yeah.
that's
No way.
that feature is going brilliantly
Not
well.
FIFA.
We might get one day.
No,
Well, it was close.
Maybe next time I'll put the game in the background again. And hopefully you'll guess it.
That'd be everyone's first guess next time.
How did it actually play on the Amiga? I can't imagine it playing particularly well on.
I honestly, I can't remember. I don't even remember buying this, but obviously I did. But I don't know.
The size of the boxes,
No
though,
idea.
do you know what I mean? That's like special edition nowadays, isn't it?
It's unbelievable, isn't it? It's in like pretty good nick as well.
It's one of those few eras, like big box PC games. Like I don't PC
Yeah.
game at all, but big box PC games, they're incredible. Love them.
And one of the features, it's got a massive 48 international teams.
Wow.
Can't go wrong with that.
It's
Nice.
it's mad, isn't it, to think back of the sort of tech and whatnot. Like just seeing floppy disks now, it's like, oh my
Wow.
god.
Madness, yeah.
There are some people that don't know what a floppy disk is. And this is like not even the floppy disks that we used to have. These are the ones that are in the plastic casings at least. But
Mm.
the amount of
Well,
times. Oh, look at that. It's got just fucking shed loads of them.
Neil's got on.
You ever used to like
you can get a
save your
zip drive
homework?
out in a minute.
You ever used to like save your homework on it? Genuinely save
Yeah.
your homework and then
Yeah.
take it out,
Yeah, yeah.
and it just wasn't there. Gone. Oh.
Yeah. No, I used to like them and like zip drives as well. I got a zip drive finally, and then like no one uses them, so it's like great. You know.
Cool to have for what's the yeah, it's cool to have it, isn't it, for purposes of what it was, historical purposes.
Yeah.
We've got a couple more messages. Games re-up. Am I saying that right? It is.
Yeah, you're
Games
saying it right.
re-up,
Yeah.
isn't it? Sub to your channel at Retro Gaming Revival. Nice stream. Thank you. And
Don't
for those who
forget to
aren't
subscribe.
following,
Don't forget to subscribe to James's channel as well. It's much more.
yeah, I
Very
think
kind.
he's friends with James. But for those not watching yet, it's much more. Don't forget to follow on YouTube and also Games re-up. I think James, you mentioned he does a lot of retro streams as well.
Yeah. He does a lot of things like cancelled games and games that I don't know if you guys are aware of Bleem, which is a PlayStation emulator that started on PC, but they do Bleemcast, so they kind of get PS1 games on the Dreamcast. So yeah, he does a lot of videos of that, and yeah, he's a pretty awesome guy, and he does live streams, and I kind of jump on his live streams and kind of scare him while he's playing Dino Crisis in the chat, which is always funny.
Classic.
Cool. Well, it's nice to have you joining us, and thanks for subscribing. We've got here, EVERCADE sucks. Ed64 is the car. Love the N64. Hopefully you will do an N64 week. I'm sure we can sort that out in the future.
Yeah, I love that.
The Crow is OEB Dawbs rated to OEB. I can see the resemblance, but I don't think he is. Right. These are the guesses. And then we've got Sexy Sophie. What will Nintendo Ollie next retro purchase be?
Ooh. I did recently pick up on eBay. There's a couple of games that I've got cart only that I'm always on the lookout for the box. And I try not to pay over the odds for the box, even though the box is sometimes more expensive than the bloody game. But yeah, recently I just managed to pick up a really nice conditioned box, manual and cart holder for Donkey Kong 64, because I never had the box for that as a kid. So trying to pick up some boxes for some of my cart only bits. So my next retro purchase was a box only for Donkey Kong 64.
Nice,
You got the
very nice.
expansion pack. Do you need the expansion pack for that as well?
You did, yeah. So thankfully I did have that, but yeah, just yeah, absolutely mental. Just thinking like that. Oh my god, I've got to take the memory out. Yeah, very cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Has anyone else got any retro purchases on the horizon?
Yeah, I have. I'm gonna get the
go on, Ollie.
Sorry, I'm gonna get the Famicom disc system next. Just to go with the Famicom, and then once I get my games room sorted, I can go with that. That's my next purchase, the disc system. I've got Zelda as well, Zelda 2. That, I picked up dirt cheap from someone in Japan, under 20 quid.
What, the gold card?
I've got the gold card already, but Zelda 2 Famicom edition. But it's got like a little Japanese cartoon book with it as well, instructions. And yeah, I got it for under £20, so it's a bargain.
Awesome.
It's weird. The Japanese imports for things can be very affordable. I was a bit annoyed that it didn't turn up, but it cost me. It was under a tenner, but I had Dragon Quest 4, Dragon Quest 5 on Super Famicom, and Mario Party 2 on N64. Both of those were Japanese import, but every single game was pretty good condition, boxed with all the inlays for, I think it was £3 each. The shipping was like 16 quid, but it just never arrived during like the peak pandemic. But yeah, Japanese import stuff is very affordable. It's the shipping that costs that's the killer.
Yeah.
Well, the Famicom disc systems, I can get one untested for 60 quid, but boxed one you're looking at a couple hundred.
Yeah, it's a cracking little piece of kit though. I'll be very envious when that turns out.
Yeah, just hope it works.
I'm looking for an original NES, and I'll put on the group that I recently found out my Master System 2, and now I'm looking for an original NES.
Yeah, I saw that.
That'll be my next purchase. Start collecting for the NES.
That Master System that you got, is it the one with Alex Kidd built in?
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah.
Yeah, I've got
Cool.
this as well. Yeah.
It's cool.
What about CD32 now? Do you want one of them?
CD32, I used to have. They're amazing. I still have one of them.
Yeah, I'm trying to sell it to Neil for 500, but he's not interested.
They do. They go for crazy money now.
I know, it's mad.
Everything goes to crazy money now. I sort of popped it up on the group the other day, and I was saying that one of my pet peeves at the moment is sort of scrolling through like Facebook Marketplace sometimes just to see what's about, because car boot sales aren't on at the moment, and there's people selling like I think there was a Super Nintendo up there, but it was like no cables, untested, no games, 400 quid, and you're like, come on, just because it's old.
I saw that. Ridiculous.
But, yeah, and fair play. Quite a lot of people were like, well, that people can charge what they want. And like, yeah, absolutely they can. People can charge what they want, and you just kind of move on from it. But yeah, it just really bothers me. It's like, I see here I've got quite a big comic book collector as well. You see it in the comic book market as well. Unless it's someone who knows what they're selling, people just look at it and go, right, it's old, therefore it's expensive. And it would be like the most common issue of like X-Men or Spider-Man, and they'll want like £10 for it, and you're like, no. But yeah, it's definitely happening more with games now. So if you ever turn up to a car boot sale, it used to be you'd have to get there at like the crack of dawn, like 5:30 if you're going to sell something. And as soon as you pull up in the pitch black, there's someone with like a torch looking in your car. And as soon as you get out the door, they're always asking you. They used to say, "Oh, have you got any gold, any jewelry, or any watches?" And they would just buy it off you immediately. Now they tack on video games. People will say, "Oh, have you got any video games?" And yeah, some people just get in there straight away and just buy it all before it even gets put out of on someone's stall. It's absolute madness at the moment.
How about you, James? Any retro purchases? incoming?
I got outbid on a Sega Rally boxed PC version. So someone beat me to that because I was just going in with silly offers, just hoping that the seller was dumb, but they weren't. But yeah, so I just kept refusing because even though I've already got it and I've already got the big box version, the different version, it's because it's a different box version. As you can see behind, I've got Last Bronx. That's in the expert software, so I like to get it in different labels as well for the same game because I'm an idiot like that. But no, I've got nothing coming. I bought Doom 3, the limited edition steelbook set for the original Xbox, or OG Xbox as the cool kids call it. But
that's a great game.
I know nothing coming up. Yeah, I just need to. I got told not to keep buying because I've got a whole bag of stuff here that needs to go back into my games room, and I don't think my brother's going to appreciate it when I go in there because the games room is not on my property; it's at my bro's, and yeah, he's not going to like that too much. Because we've already got like 5 PlayStations to get rid of, and boxes of other stuff that we need to sell, like Dreamcast, GameCube, loads of stock that we just need to get rid of. But yeah, he's not going to be too happy with the big box of PC games I've been buying. But don't tell him; no one can see it. No, this ain't going live, is it? Is this live? Yeah, it's live.
He's on the phone now.
Okay,
Yeah, he's calling me on the webcam.
Go on to the next topic. 1X for mini consoles. Obviously, mini consoles are very popular. I've got, I haven't got the PC engine, but I've got the SNES, NES, Mega Drive, and PlayStation, which I guess some of you have as well. It's really, what would you like to see as a future mini console release? So it's a tough one.
Yeah,
Neil?
Yeah. I think next on my wish list for a mini would be a N64. It toss up between an N64 and an Amiga mini.
Good choice.
I think Retro Games UK are bringing out an Amiga like they did with the C64. I think they're bringing out a full-size version. They teased a few months back like a shadowy picture of it, which could only be an Amiga. So I'm hoping that's going to come soon. But for a mini, I think, yeah, and we've got to go to the next generation, I think. So
yeah,
a Nintendo 64. Yeah, I'm up for that.
There's been rumours about that, though. I think there has been some rumours that that's the next one that they were looking to actually redo.
I'd like to see an Atari Jaguar mini, just because I never had a Jaguar. Emulation for it is really, really difficult. And I think it would just be quite a cool mini console to have.
It's a mega
and it's got
a system now as well, isn't it? It's not cheap.
I've got one in the loft, but I only got it dodgily through my sister's ex-boyfriend. So yeah, he sold it to me for peanuts, about not even £100. Just wanted it out of his own. That was ages ago.
It's
There's not great games on there really.
There's a handful of half decent bits on there, but it is all about Alien vs Predator on that system. That's meant to be like primo, but it is such a strange one.
I bought my Jaguar. I've not got it no more. Sorry, go on.
No, you carry on, James.
I went into Game Station and there was an Atari Jaguar box with loads of games boxed with it, and they had an Atari Lynx with it with loads of games boxed with it as well. And for both, it was £50. Okay, so all that for £50. So I bought that, and then I thought, this is crap. It was rubbish. I couldn't use a controller because it was like a square block with a mobile phone on it in the middle, and I was like, what am I doing here? You know, and I have to put like a separate plate on the game so it pressed the buttons of it, and I couldn't get it. And then I sold it. I think I sold it for £25 for the lot, both. Just got rid of it.
Oh, mate.
And I just didn't. I mean, the box. But it was the power. It was the power Jaguar box as well. So not the US one with the corner fit. It was the power bit. And I was like, this is rubbish. You know. So, but I mean, it was for me. Playing it, I was like, I got the N64 behind me, a PS2, Dreamcast, and everything. And I was like, this is rubbish compared to all that. And it's supposed to be double the power. You know?
It still is pretty bad, like playing it, but it's just one of those systems, isn't it? That are just insanely collectible now. People just
Yeah,
want it. Maybe there was potentially not a great print run of the actual systems themselves, because they
Panasonic Q.
yeah, like we will come back to mini consoles. I'm really good at deviating the conversation, but yeah, in terms of like other systems that they reckon could end up becoming quite collectible for, it's like the Wii U, because there's just bugger all of them.
Yeah.
There's hardly any Wii U systems out there, so maybe that's how you try and sort of source the next big console that's going to be really hard to get hold of. Find one that's got almost no print run, and that's it. It becomes hard to get hold of. It's like N-Gage as well. I think you mentioned you got an N-Gage.
Yeah.
It really
Just picked it up.
They're not cheap now, you know. And considering at the time it was a mobile phone, wasn't it? Really, with a cartridge-based gaming inside it.
Yeah, I used to have both.
Yeah, I mean, that's it. I got I've probably said it on my other streams. I got kiosks. I had like a Nokia N-Gage version 1 kiosk. So that was a Taco phone, and then Nokia gave me kiosks for their N-Gage QD. So I had like 4. I've still got one of the kiosks, but I sold the N-Gages at the time when they were going for quite a lot of money. But yeah, so basically I had to buy it back because I might sell this kiosk later on down the line. But yeah, awesome little handheld thing. That I just was playing Super Monkey Ball on it before coming on here. But you can use to play Bluetooth games together, so you can play like Ghost Recon Island Thunder together, so Bluetooth, and go online, the N-Gage Arena. So you can. It was ahead of its time, but because of the first one was so bad, you had to take the battery and everything off, the SIM card out, just to change the game. Nobody cared about the second revision of it, so they shot themselves in the foot.
There we go. I told you I'm really good at deviating the conversations here. So,
still,
James, how did you get hold of a N-Gage kiosk, if you don't mind me asking? How do you even come about one of them?
Well, the thing was, I used to do like events. I did an event in Frome in Somerset. So I was just sending emails off to developers like Nintendo and publishers and stuff like that. So I wrote off to Nokia and said, look, you know, we've got the N-Gage QD. You know, we want to show off the N-Gage QD at this event. What can you give me? And then what turned up was 2 kiosks, loads of promo stuff. Every single game was a promo, not for resale. And then, yeah, loads of stuff from Nokia. And then the N-Gage failed. So I weren't going to take it to an event because nobody cared. So I had all this stuff. So I've sold all the stuff now. But then my friend kept his kiosks. I gave him one of them for free. And he just gave it to me back. So I've still got one of those. So that was given to me by Nokia. And when I was doing tournaments for these events, Nintendo gave me a box load of promo stuff as well, like Mario Kart Double Dash hats and mugs and key rings. You know, I just asked some dude just saying, yeah, can I have some free stuff? And they just gave me loads of free stuff back then. So
that's amazing. Don't ask, don't get type scenario.
Yeah.
Are you still doing the events? Obviously not at the moment.
Yeah, I was going to do the one in April in the Nottingham Retro Games Fair, but then that's got moved to October, so it's probably going to get cancelled again. But they just asked me to come along, and I'll kit out the whole hall there because it's in a Britannia hotel, and they've got like a wedding suite where they have like conferences and stuff, and I turned that into a full games room. So I had like Dreamcasts, GameCubes, Wii's, everything there, people to play for free. And I was just there chatting to everyone, people just chatting to me. It was awesome. So that's the events I do. I used to go to pubs as well. So when they got like when they're trying to sell a new beer and they get a company in, they said, oh, can we have something there for people to play whilst they're drinking and stuff? And they called up on me. So yeah, awesome.
Decent.
Awesome. Definitely something that
do you ever come like down south at all?
I'm originally from Dagenham.
Ah, okay. All right.
So that's way south. So I did an event in a random leisure centre in Dagenham, and I had a set up there and playing Daytona USA with a steering wheel, doing a challenge for people to get the fastest lap on it on the Dreamcast, and not telling them that Daytona USA is an awful game to use with a steering wheel and a controller, and just let them run wild with it. So yeah, but I travel anywhere. Me and my brother travel anywhere. You know, as long as we can get a hotel or whatever and just sleep for the night afterwards, and yeah, we'll be fine.
Oh, brilliant.
That sounds awesome.
So I think in terms of your mini console, I think everyone's probably in agreement that the Nintendo 64 is probably the one that people would like the most next, definitely. There's some pricey games on the N64 for me that I would love to play that I never played as a kid, for whatever reason. Conker's Bad Fur Day. I would love to play that, but it's an expensive cart only. It's complete in box is just like, no, I'm not paying that.
But would you buy it if it didn't have Rare?
Banjo-Tooie?
Good question. I probably would, but predominantly just because it's got that renowned sort of cult following about it. It's meant to be just really funny, really adult humor, but just with that classic sort of Rare designs and stuff. But yeah, I just fancy playing it because it's one of those games I've just never played. Not entirely sure.
Ollie, Nintendo Ollie. If it didn't have Rare licenses like GoldenEye and Perfect Dark and Conker and all that sort of stuff, would you still want it?
Probably not. And I would say probably not because the games that they would put on it, I've probably already got. But then you get to play them in HDMI without it looking like, rubbish.
Dog meat.
Or having to emulate. Well, it's emulation, isn't it? But it's at least official emulation. Oh, I don't know. I probably would because it's Nintendo. if it's yeah.
But yeah, you say it's emulation, but the PlayStation Mini emulation is dreadful.
Awful, yeah. Ended up just hacking it and putting loads of games on it that we wanted to play.
So
is that has the hacking scene for that PlayStation got any better? Or you just got to have that USB at the front, so it looks awful. I don't know if that's
all you can do. Yeah.
Oh, is it?
Get those.
Okay.
PS1 Mini, get those.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, it takes away the look of it, but it's the only way to get it to play decent games. Getting a memory stick for it.
Yeah.
The ROMs on there are so buggy.
So bad, aren't they?
Yeah. How that got through quality? Well, nobody quality checked it. Clearly, they just rushed it out, and
moneymaker, isn't
it? Yeah.
Okay, what have we got here? HBO MB337, Nintendo Dolly. Come and grab Conker's BFD off me if you want a blast on it. One of the few hard to find games I've actually got.
Thank you, Hammonds. You will regret that. Sorry, actually, during lockdown, my PSP just wouldn't turn on, but I know the PSP's battery is notoriously dreadful, but I couldn't figure out whether it was my charger that was broken or the battery that was broken because it just lost all its charge, and there was just no way of telling what it was. So thankfully, Hammonds only lives up the road from me, and he said, "Well, yeah, come round. We'll plug in all the different bits, see what it is that's not working." And yeah, it was the battery that was conked out. So I'm still borrowing Hammonds' spare PSP battery at the moment. So yeah, I'll be nicking his N64 stuff as well. Clearly,
cool. When I hear you say Hammond, it makes me think of The Getaway.
Yeah.
Simon, I'll call him Simon.
What about PS2 Mini? Do you reckon
too soon? Maybe.
I'm looking at my PS2 games now, and I'm trying to think. Pretty much everything decent around that sort of era was third party, wasn't it? Quite a lot of things were third party at that point. It had moved on from having studios linked intrinsically to a particular company. So I'm just looking at things now, like the big ones for me on PlayStation 2 were things like, well, I guess Devil May Cry. That didn't make it to other systems. It has now, obviously, but
Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah, Grand Theft
Auto games.
The Silent Hill 2, 3, and 4, but they eventually came to original Xbox.
Fahrenheit, that was quite cool.
Fahrenheit. Yeah. You don't hear many people talking about that at the moment, but it was incredible.
It's been remastered, Ollie, for PS4. It's coming out, anniversary edition. It might already be out. Possibly.
Yes, I'm sure. Is it Limited Run that have put it out? It's called something different in America, isn't it?
Yes.
Is it Indigo something or other?
Yes, that's the one. Yeah.
Was that the weird one where he got with a dead? Was he dead and got with a woman? And it was really odd.
It was very strange.
Cracking game. We'll have to chat about that. We could almost do like a whole episode of weird games.
Yeah, Heavy Rain as well. Awesome.
Heavy Rain.
Awesome
Yeah,
game. Love that game.
So good. Quantic is that is Quantic Dream, isn't it?
Yeah, same guys. Yeah.
Yeah, unbelievable. There's a
Legends
couple
of
of weird
Wrestling
bits,
1, 2, and 2, 1, 2, and 3.
Always brings it back to wrestling.
SmackDown. All the
Legends of
SmackDown
Wrestling
games.
is very underrated. The roster on that was incredible for a game that wasn't linked to a company. But the game itself was pretty rubbish. But I'd like to see them re-released. A new version of that would be quite cool on PS5. Okay, we've got Because Why Not here, who does the graphics for our show. So hi to you. Another cool YouTube channel. If you don't already, give it a follow. Okay, so getting on to the last topic.
Awesome.
Yes, Deadly Premonition.
Yeah.
Is another game I would very much like. Again, it's not particularly expensive, and there's a Deadly Premonition pack for 1 and 2 on the Nintendo Switch, which would be quite cool to pick up. But yeah, that first Deadly Premonition just gets compared to Twin Peaks so much, which is something that I'm borderlining obsessed with. So that could work out very well. Yeah, good pick, Hammonds.
So the last topic of the evening is the AMICO Intellivision, which we covered last time. We had quite a lot of replies following the release of our video, with people saying that we were quite unfair on the AMICO, and that some of the facts that we said weren't actually correct, i.e. that I think I was quoted as saying, or I said, some of the games aren't exclusive, they're on Nintendo Switch, but apparently they're not, and the games are going to be exclusive to AMICO Intellivision. So I don't know if anyone wants to discuss this further, or have got any further updates on the AMICO to share with our viewers this evening.
Yeah, I sort of dived a little bit, because it's interesting when people don't immediately jump to the comment section and just start offloading their nastiness on you. It's quite refreshing. So some of these people coming back and saying, "Oh, have you looked at this? Have you thought about this? Have you talked about this?" That was it was quite nice, to be honest. It's a different sort of thing for interaction, isn't it, on social media? People not being nasty straight away. But yeah, one of the things I think someone talked about was that when you price it up based on the fact that it comes with 6 games pre-built into it and it comes with 2 controllers, it's good value for money, which, for someone that could very well be, well, that could be the tipping point. It's got 6 free games, 2 controllers, great, we can crack on with that straight away. But until literally before we went live today, and Ollie'd managed to find out the 6 games that were being pre-built into the system, I couldn't find any information about what those games were and whether any of them were going to be, something really big, something really exciting. I think Ski was the only one that I recognised, which, I'm sure that'll be fine and whatnot. But there's no option in the bundles to buy to take the games off, to remove the second controller and have it as a cheaper console. That's it. It's £250 with 2 controllers and 6 games. That is the only way you can buy it. So whilst I appreciate that the idea that someone's saying, well, it's good value for money because it's got this, this, and this on it, yes, you could argue that's good value for money, but there is no other option. So until there's another option where there is only 1 controller with no games so that you can pick what you want, it's still a £250 console for me. And I know the Nintendo Switch arguably comes with 2 controllers straight out of the gate as well, but you can't play things like Zelda Breath of the Wild with any other way. So if it only came with 1 Nintendo Joy-Con, you couldn't play certain games. So that's a fair comparison that somebody brought up as well in the comments. I think that's a fair comment. But for some of the good family games, like the Intellivision is really plugging itself as a family console, bringing everybody back around the TV again. The Switch has got many party games, 1-2 Switch, Snipper Clips, Mario Party, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, and all of those can be played with 1 Joy-Con. So if you look at it from that perspective, there's plenty of games you could get for your family without having to buy additional controllers and additional peripherals. So it's interesting. It's interesting. I think I'm still not totally sold that it's a system that I need, purely because I haven't seen it working properly yet. But it's interesting. I like these sort of discussions that people are sort of coming back with. It's making me then go, all right, well, let's go and read a bit more. Whereas before it was a case of I'd done a bit of reading for a little while and kind of drawn some conclusions that I wasn't massively interested, and then a couple of people in the comments section make some good points, and it makes me go and read up on it again. So yeah, happy with that.
The thing is about it as well, they're not offering anything above what Nintendo Switch already offers. I mean, if you're looking for a family console to play around the TV again, who are you going to go to? You're going to go to Nintendo, well-known brand, or you're going to go to an obscure brand like AMICO? I mean, I know which one I'd go to. I mean, that's not to say that I'm not interested in AMICO. I mean, I'll reserve judgment until it's out and see what it's like, see what the reviews are like. But like I said, they're not offering anything above what Nintendo already offers. And like I said, Nintendo have got the brand, they've got the name. Who are you going to go to?
It's got the versatility, hasn't it, as well? Because again, we can only compare it to the Switch, really, because to compare it to even a PS4 is just unfair, and to compare it to a PS5 or a Series X or a Series S, it's just it's very unfair. So the only thing you can compare it to really is a Nintendo Switch, and yeah, like you say, with the fact that it's got the brand, but it's also got everything else that comes with it. Just everything is on Switch right now. There are some of the strangest games that you've ever heard of in your life that are digital only on every other system but the Switch. There's a physical version of it on the Switch, and I don't know why. It's almost like the Switch has become a dumping ground. There is a lot of toss on there as well, but there's a huge amount of really interesting things all coming out on the Switch. Maybe some of that can make its way to AMICO as well. Don't know. Maybe it's one of those. I still don't know enough about the system and what its capabilities are to fully appreciate what it's going to offer. I think I need to see the system working, and I need to see it working without the games that they put in that sizzle reel, because every single one of those games in that sizzle reel for me doesn't do a damn thing for me. That Finnegan Fox, I think, is the only one that is the one that they're kind of really banking on, and Bomb Squad or whatever the bomb game is. But again, I've not seen either of those two games doing anything. So,
do you know if it's going to have Frog Bog on it?
I'm sure. I can never tell with you. I can never tell with you whether this is whether there's a sarcastic comment in there or not. But
no, because I've seen clips of it and it looks quite entertaining. But I've not. I mean, hands up, I've not really looked into the AMICO, wherever it is. I've seen like their Facebook thing of like 2 people building it. I've not really looked into it, but I've seen Frog Bog even, and that looks quite cool. So I'm sure you can probably get that on another console,
or if not that, it will be a clone of it.
I was going to say we'll just go back to the messages.
Pre-ordered 2 today, AMICOs. So
I pre-ordered one as well.
We'll be around Dawbs' house to try it out.
Quickly cancelled it, but I did pre-order one for all of about 5 seconds. EVERCADE have given us a thumbs up, so cheers for joining us. Appreciate it. Thumbs up to you as well. Sean Stout. Hey.
Hey, Sean.
Hey.
Thanks for joining us.
Sean Connery, isn't it?
Sean Connery.
Sean Connery. That's Sean Connery.
Is it?
Yeah.
Bless him.
Cool. So, has anyone got any other thoughts on the AMICO before we close off?
Can anyone tell me if it's got physical media? Because I keep hearing people sort of mention that it's got physical games, which immediately ticks a box in the back of my brain because I like physical media. But I've not been able to find anything that shows me if it is physical media where it belongs, or not where it belongs, but where the physical media goes. Is it a cartridge? Is it an SD card? Is it a disc? Is it a what?
With all the videos that I've seen on it so far, I haven't seen any slot or anything that can take anything physical. So,
Well, I think the downloads, go to her website and purchase them, then download them. A bit like the PlayStation Store, from what I understand.
So someone said the Crow Continuum, the Amico will have physical media. Do we know what physical media though? Do we know if it's discs, cartridges, or
the controllers? Would that be a term of physical media? I don't know.
I'm presuming it's got to be the games themselves. It's just such a strange system. It really is just such a weird one.
I've seen it. It's not what you're thinking.
Okay.
I can't really say anything about it.
Okay.
So we'll wait to watch this space. Well, James, you're in demand tonight. We'll DM you for a feature on our show.
If you want to invite any of us on, we're happy to come on, won't we? That'd be entertaining.
No, I mean it's quite difficult to get me on this show, wasn't it? I mean, I'm always not approachable. What's it? So you can't contact me.
Not available.
You know, it's just I only joined 5 minutes before you guys started, didn't I? So I was like, yeah, I'm here. But it's just because got to use my phone for like you, Neil. I got to use my phone for this camera because my webcam's rubbish on my laptop. So I've had to go on airplane mode, do not disturb. You know, I've got to turn my phone on its side. So it's just crazy, but it's nice to be here though.
It's been really good having you. I have to say, I've been really looking forward to hearing you sort of chat about the Dreamcast stuff as well, because it's one of those systems that I've got a bit of collection for and a little bit of nostalgia for, and I do enjoy it. But yeah, just hearing you speak passionately about it, it is just one of those systems I just need to deep dive a little bit harder into. It's cracking.
Yeah,
Mate,
it's purely because all the consoles I've had, I've got memories with. Like, you know, I had a Super Nintendo with my brothers, and we had a turbo controller and a standard controller with 2 other brothers, and the first game we played was Street Fighter. You know, and it's just watching my brother turn the power buttons up on the turbo pad being Eddie Honda, and it's like, this is rubbish. You know, so and then we had the N64, the GoldenEye edition together. So, you know, this with 2 other brothers, just experiencing all these games and consoles. Growing up when I did was amazing. Seeing those, but the Dreamcast is so many fond memories because me and my brother played it in a shopping centre in Debenhams upstairs, and they had Ready to Rumble boxing in a kiosk, and it's just like, you know, come on, this is next level. It looked amazing. I know it's came out on N64 and PlayStation and stuff, but seeing it on the Dreamcast, it's like, oh my god, you know. And then when your parents get the console, you undo it, it's like, oh my god, the first game I had was Sonic Adventure and House of Dead 2, and then Ready to Rumble. It's like, wow, this is incredible. But yeah, so much love for it. But just, you know, it just holds the good memories. I've never experienced them with any other consoles, really. So yeah.
I think everyone does have that one console, don't they? That they not necessarily grew up with necessarily, but they have that one console that they have a real attachment to, and they kind of just can't let it go. It's like that is, and when people do talk about it, you know, that is my favorite game system for certain people. And I can absolutely appreciate why the Dreamcast would be yours. It's just that enigma, you know. It's like if that console came out, I don't know, just a fraction later, it would have been, I think it would have been the console that everybody wanted, but it was just in that weird period in time when the internet was still new. It's just a cool console, really cool console.
I'll never forget the first time I played it. Is it Shenmue, and he walks in, and you've got, because it's got virtual fighting, like fighting mechanics, and you're fighting this big boss who ends up killing your dad. But like the first thing you see,
that's that game ruined.
Basically, that is the game. He's trying to get the matey back. But the fish, like just seeing the fish swimming around in the pond and that, it was just like, this is amazing. And it's 3 discs long, and Jet Set Radio. Saying Jet Set Radio.
I've never played Shenmue myself. But you know, being a Dreamcast man, it's kind of like a backseat gamer for that. So I would prefer to watch my brother play it. So yeah, it's kind of like a film I was watching. So I was letting him play it whilst I was watching it, and say, you know, the likes of Super Metroid on the Super Nintendo as well. I was kind of a backseat gamer for that. I wouldn't want to I wouldn't want to play those games because they just look so beautiful. I'd just rather watch them. So
It's weird,
yeah,
'cause you could go into the arcade and then you could actually play like Space Harrier. You could actually there was like a couple of games actually in this game. That's what blew my mind on it, because you're like, I ended up getting the third one on the Kickstarter, but it wasn't like I just couldn't really get back into it. It took so long to come out.
It's
well.
I got it on.
Ollie, did you? I was going to say I was just going to wrap it up, but if you want to give us the final thought for the evening.
No, it was still final thoughts. Just take care of yourselves and each other. Yeah, no, it was just harping back on to it's an incredibly common game, but yeah, the Sonic Adventure for me on the Dreamcast, even today, it's still great, and they could never get 3D Sonic right. Well, they did. They got it right twice. They got it right in Sonic Adventure and Sonic Adventure 2. And then just after that, just something went wrong, and they could not get 3D Sonic right again properly. And the Dreamcast collection on the 360 was really good, because it was a chance to play Sonic Adventure again, but in HD, without having to plug it into a CRT TV or put it into an HD TV and have it look like arse. That for me is still just one of those games, and I know the graphics aren't anywhere near the level they're at now, but you put it in and it still looks cool. It looks great. And my son, who's really big into gaming, he's a big PC gamer. Him playing Sonic Adventure with me, a few months back, and even him being like, this looks really good for his age. And you're like, for a kid who's, well, he's 18, but for someone who was 18 looking at it with a the sort of modern gaming mindset, to be like, yeah, this still looks good. You're like, just shows that system and that era was really cracking.
Yeah.
Well, that's a nice thought to end this evening's show on. I just want to thank, on behalf of all of us, James from ItsMuchMore for joining us tonight. It's been a really great evening chatting retro games, and you've been a brilliant guest, and I hope you'll come back again in the future, because I'm sure I'll speak on behalf of everyone. We'd like to have you back on the show.
Definitely.
Thank you for everyone for watching tonight, and for the comments as well. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel, hit the thumbs up, and to hit that bell, and we hope to be back in a couple of weeks for some more Retro Gaming Revival live stream. So thank you and good night.
Right.